Stories with a stoner. Not that kind of stoner. This kind of stoner.
Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Stories with a Stoner. I'm your stoner, Julie, and thanks for stopping by. You really know how to make a girl feel special. So here at the channel, we like to read a short inspirational story while you get to watch some fancy costume work. Kind of like what Miss Dolly's wearing here. She's all dressed up and nowhere to go. I don't think she has a boyfriend. But Miss Dolly, you as always, you look so lovely. Do you want to do a little to show everybody? She says yes. Let's see. Oh, she's bling in the front, but party in the back. I love it. I love it. If you are interested in the book, the look, and the stones, stick around till after the story and I'll give you those details. Sit back, relax, and enjoy.
Chapter 13. Have you ever bought a lemon? One year, my husband and I bought a beautiful truck. We were so proud of it. Everything about it seemed great. It had leather seats, a Bose radio, and all the bells and whistles. You couldn't ask for a better vehicle. We went around showing it to our friends and giving them rides. It was a one owner. That sealed the deal. Just to be safe, we bought the extended warranty. We probably wouldn't need it, but since it wasn't brand new, we thought that it would be a smart move. 2 months later, we heard a groan in the rear of the truck. While replacing the driver's side rear wheel bearing, the mechanic noticed a funny hesitation in the transmission. After those repairs, we thought we were through, but then we heard another noise from the front end. And what was that fluid dripping from the pan? Did the air conditioning work as well as it should? We could no longer deny the fact that we had bought a lemon. It looked great on the outside, and it was a comfortable ride, but underneath where the things weren't so obvious and only time could tell, it was sour. Have you ever met someone you thought was a beautiful person? They said all the right things, you introduced them to your friends, and you were proud to be in their company. They quoted scriptures, attended church, and testified about great miracles. You bought their act, but after a while, you heard some groaning. That didn't sound right. You overlooked it, but a few months later, you heard them verbally trashing their spouse. They made snide remarks about the church people who couldn't make time for the mission trip. On their rearview mirror, they quickly flicked the handicap tag that was meant for their ailing mom. They say that the waiter was inept, so no tip. Drip, 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 just like that lemon we bought. Sure, everyone has bad days, but if you constantly find that the sweet fruit you expected leaves a sour taste, you may feel like your friend destroyed the trust you had in God. A holy man was sent to deliver a horrible message to Jeroboam. God instructed the holy men, don't eat a crumb, don't drink a drop, and don't go back the way you came. 1 Kings chapter 13, verse 9. The holy man obeyed, and along the way, another man came out to meet him. He said, I am also a prophet, just like you, and an angel came to me with a message from God. Bring him home with you and give him a good meal. But the man was lying. So the holy man went home with him, and they had a meal together. 1 Kings chapter 13, verses 18 through 19. The holy man ended up being killed by a lion right down the road from where he had fellowshiped with his so-called friend, the prophet. The bottom line is that he believed the friend instead of heeding God's instructions. His friend was a liar and a hypocrite. It's easy to see a hypocrite in the church and say, "Ha, I knew it. They're all alike. And then cry yourself to sleep, cursing God. I can never trust a Christian again. That's what I get for buying into their sanctimonious garbage. But God doesn't want you to look at people. He wants you to look at Him, the all-knowing, ever-loving God of the universe, who is the same yesterday, today, and forever. I've got news for you. Hypocrites are everywhere. They're on Wall Street, they're in the pew next to you, and they're at your job. But don't let that persuade you to take your eyes off Almighty God. Fortunately, we have a guarantor who will heal anything that is broken in our lives. The stings of a hypocrite, physical abuse, cancer, heart disease. Just as the warranty on our vehicle was bumper to bumper, God can heal you everywhere you hurt, as Joyce Meyer said. I'm not afraid to trust my vehicle anymore. It can be fixed. The mechanic handles all the problems. I've also learned to focus on God instead of worrying about the hypocrites that boggle my mind. All it takes is one long look in the mirror to bring me down to earth. I leave the judgment up to God. Don't pick on people, jump on their failures, criticize their faults, unless, of course, you want the same treatment. That critical spirit has a way of boomeranging. Matthew chapter 7, verses 1 through 2. Paul says, "You ran well. Who hindered you from obeying the truth? The persuasion did not come from him who calls you." Galatians chapter 5, verses 7 through 8. Our job is to stay out of the judgment seat, keep our eyes on God, and serve Him with the joy that we had before we were distracted. Joseph was treated horribly by his brothers. He endured 13 years of hardship at their expense. However, he had an awesome attitude. But Joseph told them, "Don't be afraid of me. Am I God to judge and punish you? As far as I am concerned, God turned into good what you meant for evil, for He brought me to this high position I have today so that I could save the lives of many people." Genesis chapter 50, verses 19 through 20. Lemonade for lemons, mercy for transgressions, beauty for ashes, a great exchange. Chapter 14. Have you ever broken your promise? When my brother and I were young, our dad promised to take us camping. Summer came and went with no camping trip. Maybe next year, he said, but next year was the same. The third year, we made him put in writing, "I promise to take Steve and Sherry camping this summer." He even signed his name, and we put the note in an encyclopedia for safekeeping. This time we just knew he would keep his promise. But he never did. I learned a lot of things from my dad, most of them positive, but I also learned from the negative. Keep your word even if it costs you. Psalms chapter 15, verse 5. When my kids were growing up, I tried to remember the hurt of my dad's broken promise. If I couldn't do something, I wouldn't promise it. If I could do it, then I would promise it and keep my promise, even if keeping my word was inconvenient. Promises are important to your kids, but they're also important to your friends and your fellow workers. Have you ever promised to call your friend, but failed to do so? Have you ever made a date, but not shown up, nor given an explanation? Did your friend clear their schedule only to be ignored? Have you ever promised your boss you would have a report done by Friday, then stayed home and pretended to be sick? Have you told a customer their truck would be fixed on Thursday, knowing full well that you were going on vacation Wednesday? These promises may seem harmless, but your reputation is based upon your word, your promise. If you wondered why your business is dwindling, or you wonder why your friends aren't as excited as they used to be when you set up a date, you might want to ask yourself, do I keep my word? Are your kids disinterested when you promise them the moon and then deliver a deflated ball? Turn the page on your sloppy promises. Be a person of your word. Instead of a bucket list of things to do before you die, how about a promise jar? Make good on your promises, even when it costs you. By the way, years later, my wonderful husband took me and all 3 of our kids camping in a tiny pup tent, and we had a glorious time. I believe God provided a way for my heart's desire to be fulfilled, and I believe He will fulfill your desires if you are not bitter and delight yourself in the Lord.
Hi guys, I hope you enjoyed that story. Hope you got something out of it. Sometimes those little short and sweet stories, yeah, they really stick in your noggin. Yeah. So if you're interested in reading the book, because there are questions and answers for each chapter, kind of do a little self-diving, little writing, you can purchase this book off Amazon, and I will list the link in the description below. If you are interested in purchasing some of these beautiful stones, head on over to royalrhinestone.com. Website is in the description. They've got beautiful, beautiful stones, and whenever you're checking out, use OTTB in the coupon, and you'll get 15% off your first order. And if you're interested in purchasing a costume, head on over to my shop on the Top Boutique at Etsy and browse around. If you don't see exactly what you're looking for, send me a message. I love doing custom costumes, and we'll get you all fixed up. As always, guys, have a great day. Sparkle on. Be kind as you do it. Bye.